Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gypsy Poet Radio here on blogtalkradio.com/Gypsy Poet. I'm the Gypsy Poet, and of course, I've got with me the mysterious, wonderful, and absolutely sparkling Girl George. And what a great show this is! I love every single show that I've done with Girl George, and it's almost going to be a year too. My goodness, what a great celebration! And I got to tell you, I swear to God, every show gets hotter and hotter. And so far, I think this show is about as hot as the chili cook-offs in parts of South Texas right about now, because I cannot believe this. We got musician and songwriter and producer of one of my favorite DJs that I grew up with on MTV, Nina Blackwood. This is her producer. It is the one and only Danny Sheridan. Oh my God, is everyone with me?
I'm here. Is anybody else?
Hi, Danny. Danny, you used to work with my old friend David Allen Coe, didn't you? Me and him played at the Tennessee State Men's Penitentiary. Me and Star and David and Farron Young back in 1971. Were you with him then?
Not there, although we played a penitentiary or two. And I used to work with David, and it's full circle. We're back. I'm producing his new CD, and a lot of other stuff. It's like it's old home week here.
So you're producing him now, huh?
I'm producing the new CD and doing a lot of other career kind of overseeing things right now. He had a bad accident back in March.
Yes, I know. I've seen the pictures. It's a wonder he's alive.
Yeah, that thing was really, the SUV was really squished. And, he's a...
What, did he hit a truck?
Yeah, a truck hit him. I guess he got T-boned in an intersection. And, yeah, it was pretty bad, but he's back up running. He's out. In fact, he played Billy Bob's down in Fort Worth last night.
Yeah, it ain't easy to kill David Allen off.
Yeah, he's a tough one. So
I love David. When you talk about outlaw, there's your outlaw, is David. David's the greatest outlaw that ever existed.
I tell you.
I love cutting-edge people, and David's one, and Nina's one, and Bonnie. Mm-hmm. You were married to Bonnie? From Bonnie and Delaney?
I married Bonnie Brown. Sounds like an old 50s horror movie, right?
You played with her in the band, too. What, did you play bass?
I played bass, wrote, produced. We had some great people, revolving crews of people. Ended up finally with Dallas Taylor on drums, from Crosby, Stills, Nash, those guys. And Jimmy Crespo, who, of course, was Joe Perry's replacement guy for those years in Aerosmith when they were all falling down unconscious on drugs.
You were on the cover of the Rolling Stones with them, weren't you?
No.
Well, there's a picture of you and Bonnie on the cover of the Rolling Stones.
Oh, there's a clip. Yeah, we weren't actually on the cover. But I know the one you're talking about, Bandaloo Doctors. That was band. Yeah, we were inside.
Inside. Well, that's close enough.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. You can't really in the article. The cover, that looks good on your office wall in the studio.
Yeah. You were in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You got your case or something, your bass case in there or something?
Yeah, that's really nice. They asked me to contribute some memorabilia to the museum, and so I put in one of my old tour bass cases, with all the beat up stickers from everywhere and stencils and all that. And one of my old Rhinestone tour shirts, actually from the Eli Radish band and David Allen Coe days.
So Eli Radish was your band that you played with David with, right?
Well, Eli Radish was my band on Capitol Records when I was a little child.
How old were you?
Yeah.
I think we started, I guess I must have been 17.
Yeah.
And we recorded with Capitol right about that time. It wasn't my first recording band, but, I was a baby. It was right after, I think, World War I. It was a while back. And we were out touring. We toured with everybody, the Who, the Doors, and all the bands from the time. Got embraced by the whole anti-war community because
that would have been the '60s, not World War II.
Oh, okay. There you go. I have trouble with dates.
So, what was your first band? How old were you when you did your first band and got your first record contract?
My first band was a thing with a couple of friends. We were kind of a blues rock power trio. We signed with Phillips. I guess signing, I was probably still 15 because I didn't drive yet. Yeah, my parents had to sign the contract and all that. But good experience, but I wanted to do something a little more rootsy. And I got a hold of my buddy, by the way, Tom Foster, who's quite a well-known pedal steel player down there in Texas, where I know you are, in Austin. And lo and behold, he's playing on the new David Allan Coe CD too. So we're coming back around. We met David probably early 70s. He had a record out. We had a record out. He came to a show. We kind of hooked up. Obviously, kindred spirits. We were already long-haired rednecks. And
Where are you from? Where are you from?
Yeah.
Well, that was all. I'm actually from Chicago. I've kind of lived all over the country, but that particular period of time, I was in Ohio for a few years, northeast Ohio, and I didn't know it then, but Dave was born in Akron, Ohio. He was living in Nashville, but he came up, I guess, sort of to find us, and we all hit it off and moved down to a band house in Nashville, like kids will do.
Did you play at the Red Dog Saloon?
No, we did not. We actually didn't play much in Nashville. Both of those bands, my band, we were pretty much on tour, and we did play. We did a live recording down in Nashville at the Broadway Barn. Probably doesn't even exist anymore. It's just a big, huge venue with a big stage.
Well, I was in Nashville 71 to 73, so the main places were the Red Dog Saloon and the Exit Inn.
Well, we used to go hang out at the Exit, never played there. We were kind of touring. We played, I'm trying to think where, Betts Memorial in Dallas, is that still around? We were on the road. We would come out to California and play shows out here. In fact, we played the Palomino, the world-famous Palomino.
I've played the Palomino many, many times. I was in L.A. for a while. It's not there anymore, It's gone.
Oh, I know it's gone. I live in L.A.
All the best clubs are gone. Alice Bar's gone, and the Red Dog Saloon's gone, and and they come and go.
How did you hook up with Nina Blackwood? How did that collaboration come about?
Well, actually, it's around the same period of time, just before my band was out of Cleveland. Eli Rash, we were playing around Cleveland, and we had some mutual friends. I guess we played a fundraiser at this place called the Cleveland Arena, which is, of course, the famous place they say rock and roll started back in the day with, 10, 20 years before us or whatever. But fundraising for a presidential candidate, I guess Nina saw the band, but we never really met that much. And then we moved up to the East Coast, and Nina was good friends with the drummer's girlfriend. And the drummer's girlfriend had moved up there. Nina came up to visit. She was kind of traveling around wondering what to do next. And we met, and there you go.
Awesome. Wow.
So she was your girlfriend first, right?
Yep, that's how it happened first. And I was touring a lot. I was gone, which she hated. And I was on the road all the time. I remember one fateful time, I think the bus dropped me off even wherever we were living at the time. And, they rolled off into the sunset, and she said, I want to go on. I want to be in show business. And so I kind of started, she played the harp, big tall lion, a Healy harp, not harmonica. And I sort of, we said, start here. started working, play some gigs, play some music. She played rock and roll. You know, I taught her kind of play by ear. She was classically trained. And she would play, like, you know, My Guitar Gently Weeps and stuff like that on the string harp, and played in some pretty fancy restaurants and started modeling. You know, I had studios I was doing producing and working in radio occasionally, you know, doing, like, advertising spots and, you know, commercial spots and things like that. And I had her start reading copy. She always had a great voice. It was one of my first attractions to Nina. She had a great voice. And so we started recording radio demos and stuff. And, well, let's see. I don't know. Somehow we ended up together in Nashville, and just we ended up together out in L.A. eventually. I was producing some records out here after touring a lot with David. And she started modeling out here as well, and doing some early film work. She was in that movie Vice Squad with Wings Hauser and Susan Hewlett, which is still this crazy cult movie about hookers and, you know, all the steamy Hollywood stuff. It's still, it's like, you know, 20 years, whatever, later, it's still so popular as a cult thing.
So she was in Playboy magazine, too?
She was in, yes, part of the modeling. And it's funny, we lived in Chagrin Falls, Ohio at the time, small town America. I'd leave to go on tour and come back, and we had a little house there, a nice house there, 80 acres, all comfortable country living. But, you know, here I am, this wild rock and roller, long-haired redneck guy out on tour with David and stuff, and then all of a sudden my girlfriend's in Playboy. We decided to leave. They practically ran us out of Chagrin Falls. There was a really terrible winter storm. I remember watching Willard Scott one morning on the early show, you know, the morning show, and he said, and it's 84 degrees in L.A. I said, that's it. We're out of here next week, because I always loved L.A. And that was about late 78, I guess, and came out here. I was doing some producing. I knew some friends that were in video, and video then was kind of a new frontier. Music video was very exciting. You know, everything was experimental, and we were always trying to push the limits of what could be done. And I'd always kind of make sure Nina was in front of the camera. And all of a sudden, one day, Billboard magazine was looking for people for this new sort of video company. And so she answered the ad. We prepared a little package, and it was MTV.
Awesome. That's a great story. Can you tell me a little bit about some of your other projects that you're doing? Like, for example, you producing the Sirius XM satellite radio. What do you do there?
No, Nina has a show. We're going into 10 years now. She had a daily show on Sirius XM, and so, you know, I manage Nina as well as produce. I actually produced and still, as we continue, produce her syndicated radio shows. We were with Dick Clark's company, United Stations, out of New York, and we have two shows, Absolutely 80s and New Wave Nation, running, and she does a daily show on Sirius XM. In fact, now all four of the original VJs are on there, Mark and Martha and Alan and Nina.
Oh, that's neat.
Oh, you know Greg Allman too, don't you? I was there when Greg got his tattoos from Lyle Tuttle. Lyle Tuttle's an old friend of mine, so I was there when all the Allman brothers got their tattoos.
Oh, the famous Lyle Tuttle. I'm impressed.
Oh, yeah, I've known him 50 years.
I didn't
He
get
was
to
on
meet
my show a while back on this show. He was on one of our first shows.
Yeah.
Tattoo.
He's a Libra like you. I got a thing for Libras. I love Libras.
Well, I have
got great stories. So how do you know Greg Allman?
Well, probably from playing somewhere, but, you know, Bonnie Brown, my ex-wife there, we were talking about, was the Allman sister, as we called her. And so, she actually lived down there with the brothers on the infamous farm and all that kind of stuff. At the time, I guess, no, I don't guess. I know that at the time, her significant other was Dickie Betts, and he went through a couple of marriages during that time, but Bonnie was the girl on the side, and so she toured with her brother. I'm not telling secrets here, guys. This stuff.
No, that's all right. I'm in rock and roll. I know all about it.
It's all well known. It's out there already. So at one point
it's all family. It's okay.
We were one of the things we would go out and see them in concert and this and that. But one of the things when we had our band Bandaloo Doctors together, we were cutting a song. They happened to be in town the day we were in the studio, and somebody said, "Wow, we ought to get a Hammond B3 in here and have Greg come down and play." And so that's what happened. Because I know you're referring to the song "Down This Road Too Long," which I wrote.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going to put at the end of this video here. So Greg Allman is on it, and Bonnie is singing on it. Who else is on it?
Well, let's see.
There's you on bass, I suppose, right?
I'm playing bass, and I'm producing.
And you wrote it?
I wrote the song.
Uh-huh.
My great friend Boris Menard, engineering, and we cut it, the famous...
Who's playing guitar? Who's playing guitar on it?
That guitar is Jimmy Crespo.
Oh, cool. Anybody else on it?
That cut is Larry Aberman on drums. That was with the Doctors for a while. We had a series of some of the greatest drummers. I mean, it feels like Spinal Tap. We had these exploding drummers. We went through a lot of people, but they were all great people. I mean, we recorded with Richie from Little Feat, and James Gatson played drums, and of course Dallas Taylor ended up being a member of the band, and Kevin Ballantyne was one of our drummers. I mean, just this whole list of fabulous drummers. So,
drummers are the hardest to get. Guitar players are the easiest. It's 1,010,000 guitar players. There's less so of good bass players, and drummers are really hard to find. And when you find them, they're usually crazy.
Well, yeah, it's always hard for drummers to work with musicians.
So what are some of the current things that you're working on?
Well, of course, Nina and the other VJs just finished, not just finished, but they wrote a book called VJ, which is out on Atria, and we're doing a bunch of programs on that, and, because I do manage her entire career. It's not just producing. I manage it all. And that just hit the New York Times bestseller.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really fun, and people love the book, and she talks all about the early days of MTV and some wacky stuff we used to do, and so it's a good read. And as we were saying before, I'm producing. They actually called me to produce and kind of take over a lot of restructuring David's career right now, and he works with his wife Kim. And they're on the road all the time. They're getting back up and running on the road after the accident, and so they've asked me to kind of oversee everything that's going on. So I'm producing the new one, which is going to be called Just As I Am. And there's a couple unfinished ones that have been floating around. There's tracks here and there. And so I'm starting to find those, and I'm going to work on those as well. I do a little TV. I'm working on a reality show concept we're pitching for a charity pet rescue organization out here in L.A., and working on some things with Scarlett Rivera, from Bob Dylan's band, the Rolling Thunder tour and all that stuff. And she's got a new project coming out. And, just always writing songs. Got some real estate builders and investor people that I'm working with to put up a series of recording studios called Studio Spaces in various cities. So that's kind of fun.
So what did your father do? What kind of work did your father do?
My father?
Yeah. Where do you come from?
Well, he was actually a rocket scientist.
Oh, cool. I like that.
A real rocket scientist. Yeah.
I have another guitar player who was on a couple of weeks ago. His father put up the spaceship, so they probably know each other.
He taught quantum physics to NASA scientists on into his later years even. I mean, he was a perennial student, University of Chicago, Harvard, Yale, degrees from all over the place. And somehow he also got the musical side. He played tuba, and he built one of the most accurate violins ever made. Got written up in all kinds of magazines. So, you know, he might have liked for me to be a rocket scientist too, but somehow I ended up in the arts. And
so what did your mother do? Did your mother do anything?
My mother was, she actually was an artist and studied violin in school and stuff, but she was the quintessential raise a family, stay at home, dad's a rocket scientist, and she takes care of the house thing. And
that all happened in Ohio, right? You're
well,
raised in
Chicago,
Ohio?
actually, I was born in Chicago, yes. My childhood was in Chicago, and I was with them a few years in Ohio. When I left as a kid, they stayed in Ohio. When my dad died in an accident quite a while ago, and I brought my mother out and got her a house out in L.A. And so she stayed out here for about 20 years until she passed just a couple of years ago.
Oh, well, that's nice. Do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have a brother out here also in L.A. with quite an interesting large family. Sid Sheridan, his daughter Carol Sheridan, my niece, is a pretty well-known art and rock and roll photographer out here in L.A. And my nephew Scott, another bass player, has had a band called the Los Angeles. As a matter of fact, I think you interviewed Chris Gantry.
Oh, yeah, Chris is a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Chris and Scott had a band together out here.
Oh,
so.
Really?
Yeah. That's cool.
So, small world, you know.
In Nashville?
No, out here in Los Angeles.
Oh, because if he was in Nashville, I probably knew him.
In fact, they were called...
If he was there in the 70s, I was only there from 71 to 73.
No, they were out here, and I guess Chris was in and out. They go way back. So...
Do you know Zach Van Arsdale?
I do not. Why would I know?
He's one of the Nashville outlaw boys.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I've been living in L.A. a long time and doing all kinds of music, you know, fast music, slow music.
Yeah.
We know where that joke's going. Boom, never mind. No, I don't know Zach, though, but it's funny how people keep popping up, you know, over the years. And like David, you know, I mean, we always kept in touch. When he'd tour in the West Coast, a lot of times he'd make sure to get a hold of me, bring me in, and say hi at the show, and always gave me a nice intro. And from, you know, I'd walk on the stage and all this stuff. But now we're actually back in at full force. You know,
good.
Every day.
We had a birthday party for David in '71, me and Star, and he said it was the first time anyone ever threw a birthday party for him.
Huh.
But that was like in 1971, so. It was about when you met him.
Yeah, it was right about that time. You know,
it's a wonder you didn't meet me, because I was in Nashville right around then, and we were pretty loud. I wore a sword. You couldn't have missed me.
No, I know you mentioned you did, yeah.
And Star was half naked all the time, so the guys never missed her.
Well, okay, well then I guess I wasn't there at the same time.
You would have remembered. You would have remembered.
Yes,
I'm sure David remembers.
Another naked woman, I would have remembered that for sure.
Yeah. And she was very pretty too, so that helped.
Well, we got about 5 minutes left in the show. Is there anything that you really wanna plug out for the rest of us out here? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to know we got some more time to talk, because you know, I know 30 minutes goes pretty fast. I'm just, you know, I'm looking forward to getting a lot more stuff done with David and getting some of these new records out. And we've kind of already talked, just to let your listeners know. We're going to see if we can set up an interview with David around the time that record comes out.
Yes, I really want to talk to Dave. I haven't talked to him in like 40 years.
Well, we're going to try to make all that happen pretty soon.
That'll be great. We'd love to talk to Nina, too, and David's wife. She's got a record coming out, too, don't she?
Well, they have one of these ones that I'm working on is pretty much, it's like an acoustic thing they did together. I wasn't in on the recording of it, but a couple years ago they recorded it, I believe, down in Florida. Yeah, it was down in Florida. And I'm getting the masters here pretty soon. Got a really great engineer that cut them, and so we're going to, so that's maybe the one you're thinking of, that it's really kind of a thing they did together.
Well, I got two other projects listed here that I thought I'd mention here. You have something going on with DJ Franco Munoz, and you're also remixing, former contestant of Rockstar Supernova, Delana, I remember. Would you mind telling us a little about that?
Well, Franco's a dear friend of mine, and yes, a couple years ago, I don't know how it all got started, but he's from Ibiza, Spain, and he does a lot of DJs all over the world, really. Him and Delana got hooked up to do something, and we got together, all three of us, on it, and took a couple of her rock things and remixed them, recut them. Oh boy, what a deal it is! You take a 3-minute rock song and turn it into a 7-minute dance house kind of a thing with mostly new tracks. You kind of you write around the tracks that were there and sample everything and change everything. And so we already did a really nice version of that. Delana right now is kind of in the middle of childbirth. Maybe last week, maybe next week. I'm not really on top of that, but and she's released a couple other rock things since then, and we did a couple of them that came out pretty nice. And Franco uses those tracks in concert. He plays in the big dance thing in Berlin and goes back and forth to Ibiza, and of course he's LA's his real home now. So he does works with a lot of people in that whole house music, electronic dance music genre. Lots of fun. I like doing different things, especially as a producer. I produce some rap, produce some hip-hop.
Wow.
House and dance music stuff. But, my heart and soul, I grew up listening to rural blues and acoustic country and, Flatt and Scruggs, Bill Monroe, Lead Belly. That's really the root. So I always go back to something that's closer to that.
How many instruments do you play? What do you play?
Well, bass is my real-life instrument. If I'm touring, if I'm on stage, that's the one that I hope I'm playing. Well, the audience hopes that's the one I'm playing because that's the one I do well. But I write on guitar and I write on keyboards. And, these days you end up composing on a laptop as well. But, I studied piano, actually, when I was a kid. I was about 7 when I started that. But didn't keep up with that as much. Somehow I ended up on bass.
So it was great talking to you. It was great talking to you, Danny.
Yeah, much so.
Now
you keep in touch with us.
Well, now everybody's online together, so I know we'll be in touch.
Yeah, we got Facebook.
Yeah, there you go. The wonders of the Internet now, right?
Yeah. Right. Oh, well, it has been an awesome afternoon, Girl George. It's been a blast. Amazing program, and you have brought some great stories in this half hour at GPR. I'm really grateful that you called in. Girl George, it's been a blast. Danny, thank you so much. Everyone, this is the Gypsy Poet with Girl George saying adieu for now.
Ciao.
lately I've been thinking maybe we've been down this road too long. To leave you may be wrong. Oh, I'm just not that strong. And lately